Let me start with the first thing. Alhamdulillah, we don't have that much of mistakes. And you can know, I'm going to revise again with you that the test start with domain 2, then domain 1, then domain 4, then domain 3. Don't forget that. So because of that, we start answering from down. Why? Domain 3 has only two skills that they are so easy. One of them is transition, the other one is rhetorical synthesis. Question 1, I don't have anyone that has question 1. Question 2, yes, I have question 2. And as we know that this is vocabulary, how we answer vocabulary, we have to go first to the connotation to find that the word carry a positive meaning or negative meaning or neutral meaning. And according to that, you can do the elimination. According to that, you can do the elimination. Or if you find that there is one that is neutral, you can go to the context clue. So dynamic, positive, sluggish, negative, slow, static, like the electricity. It's neutral, progressive, positive. And because I have one that is neutral, I'm going to go to the context clue. Here he said, art is neither. Art is not. Art is not. Art is not one. Art is not what? Take care. Art is not what? So we have to indicate here, art is not maybe something negative, maybe something positive. So I have to go after, nor it's meant to be. So till now, I don't have any information. It's positive or negative. A poem written today looks and sounds vastly different from a poem by Shakespeare. And a modern symphony no longer resemble one by Beethoven. Wait, it doesn't want positive or negative. Because here he said it's completely different from whatever by Shakespeare, whatever by Beethoven. So here it can be neutral, not static, not uniform. It's different all the time. So the answer is C. Number 3, also for the vocab. Reactive. Reactive can be for both, actually. Reactive can be for both. It's not only positive. It can be neutral, also negative. Benign, harmless, positive. Coherent, understandable, positive. Injurious, negative. I have one neutral. I'm going to go to the context clue. Let's read. He said, chemist Carla Bertozzi developed bioorthogonal chemistry, which entails, what does it mean, this kind of chemistry? Entails producing chemical reaction inside living organism. Take care. So I'm going to produce chemical reaction inside the body of a human organism, inside the body, through a relatively what? Procedures. Wait. So actually, if I'm going to produce a chemical reaction inside a human body, I don't want this kind of reaction to be injurious, to be harmful. So I'm going to delete D. Do you want B to be reactive? Wait, because reactive also, it will affect the people. But let's continue. Maybe it has something negative. He said the practice facilitate cutting edge research because it allows scientists to study the impacts of modified molecules without interfering with the normal biological functioning of an organism cell. Thank you. So we don't need anything to affect the human body, to interact with the human body, to react with the human body. So we need it benign, harmless, harmless. One of the words in my sheet. There is number 5. Okay. The main purpose. How we answer the main purpose? You look at the first sentence, look at the last sentence. But if you're gonna go to the answers and you find that there are more than one answer that is right, more than one answer that is right, what you're gonna do? You have to read the whole text, but what you eliminate, you eliminate. What you eliminate, you eliminate. What you cancel, you cancel. Okay, let's find. He said what here? He said meditation. Every one of us like it. Meditation. has been around for thousands of years, starting as a religious practice. Let me tell you something. This one actually, it's SAT test, real test. I think it's in November. The first sentence is stated that this sentence is written by AI. How do you know, Dr. Tamer? Are you a qualified AI researcher? Yes. Whenever he write the sentence and put the modifier by the end and before it a comma, believe me, and it start to be the first sentence, whenever you find that, believe me, it's AI. It's AI characteristic. Because of that, when you are writing using AI, kindly bring this part in front of the word that modify it. So starting as a religious practice is better to be in the beginning than comma. Like that, anybody that will check after you that you are AI thief or theft, he's not gonna find that you are AI that one. So let's continue. Meditation has been around for thousands of years, starting as a religious practice. Thank you. So now meditation is an old practice and it started as a religious one. The last sentence. Rather than focusing on spiritual growth, no, wait. Actually, anything that is religious, it depends on spiritual growth. But let's continue. He said, rather than secular meditation emphasizes stress reduction, relaxation, and self improvement. This is a kind of another meditation. Okay, let's find. It discussed the history of meditation as a religious practice. Yes. To illustrate how it can impact spiritual growth. The problem here that he said rather than. But he talked about the first part that it's a religious practice, so maybe. Let's look at B. It argued that religious and secular meditation improve well-being. He didn't say that the one that is religious improve. He didn't say. But he talked about secular, yes. Including the regulation of the impacts of stress. Also, I suspect that maybe it. So it can be also. It can be, but the problem that religious wasn't included here. No, I'm gonna delete it. It presents meditation as a practice that has been historically connected to various world religions. No, he didn't talk about the different religions. He didn't talk about Buddhism. He didn't talk about Islamic. He didn't talk about Christian. He didn't talk about Jewish. He didn't talk about even other stuff of religious. No, cancel. So I cancel B and C. It described the history of meditation from its religious origins, yes, to its developing non-religious form over time. Yes, this one, secular meditation. So it can be between A and D. So what we're going to do right now, again, what you eliminate. What you cancel. Forget about them. So now I'm between A and D. Let's read all the text again. Meditation has been around for thousands of years, starting as a religious practice. Hindu, there's a kind of religious. Hindu scripture from around 1500 BCE describe meditating on the divine. An art from this time period shows people sitting cross-legged and solitary in a garden. In China and India around the 5th century BCE, other forms of meditation developed. Several religions, including Taoism, Buddhism, Islam, and Christianity, have meditative rites. In 20th century, Europe and America, secular forms of meditation arrived from India. This differs from the religious. Rather than focusing on spiritual growth like the one for religious, secular meditation emphasizes stress reduction, relaxation, and self-improvement. So, it discussed the history of meditation as a religious practice, yes. To illustrate how it can impact spiritual growth, no. No. Because spiritual growth only for the religious. But it started talking about another one here. It described the history of meditation, yes. It talked about the history, start from the religious, 1500, 2000, or 5th century BCE, 20th century, to its developing non-religious forms over time, yes. So the answer is D. The question after is number 6. Okay, I have it. Cross-text connection. How you answer the cross-text connection, Dr. Tamer? As I told you, we have 3 kind of questions. For the cross-text connection, one of them to find the agreement, the other to find the differences, the third one, how one text reply to another. And this look like that. But you're going to start by reading. If you want something to reply to another, you're going to start by reading the one that start with. And you're going to put yourself in the shoes of the writer to find how you're going to reply to the other. Here he said, based on the text, how would Sewis and the researcher team, text 2, so I'm going to start with text 2, most likely describe the view of the nutritionist, present text 1, take care. I want only the part that relate to the point of view of the nutritionist to reply to. Okay, let's read this first. Jotham South and the research team conducted a study of about 400 people and found that the subject who consumed artificial sweeteners, all of us actually make that. We are using artificial sweeteners, had higher blood sugar level, like the sugar that we're using. This will increase the blood sugar, this negative, and impair the abilities to tolerate glucose. Oh my God. Negative points. Whenever you're going to use artificial sweeteners, you're going to have bad effects in your body. They also found that the subject who consumed artificial sweeteners had different population of bacteria in the guts. Not only that. In their guts, they have they use artificial, they have bacteria, compared to the subject who didn't. And they posit that artificial sweetener use was responsible for these differences. Okay, thank you. So it has negative effect, actually. Let's find now how he's going to reply to the view of the nutritionist. Here, look. This is the view of nutritionists, many nutritionists. So many nutritionists believe that artificial sweeteners can be used to replace sugar in the diet of a person suffering from diabetes. Wait. يخرب بيوتكم. He said down, or what I said right now, the artificial sweeteners will cause negative consequences. How are you going to use with the people that they have diabetes? A chronic condition that prevents the body from properly regulating blood sugar level. No, I'm not going to accept. I'm not going to accept this point of view. So it's seriously compromised by the research team finding. Yes, it's compromised. He just take the bacteria and said that it's benefit. But look at this one. It's negative. It's compromised. It probably holds true. It's not true at all. It's not true at all. But let's continue. Only under condition like those in the research team study. No, it's not at all. It's not at all true. It's not compelling as a theory. Yes, it's not compelling as a theory. I'm not going to take it as a theory. Regardless of the data collected by the research team, how regardless? It's regardful. How regardless? It's regardful. It is largely correct. No. So the answer is A. The question after is number 7. Again, cross-text connection. Number 7 again, cross-text connection. He said again, based on the text, how would Johnson and colleague, text 2, would most likely describe the view of the geologist. Present text 1. So I have to read this all, put myself in the shoes of the author, and find how we're going to reply. What? To the geologist view. Okay. Tim Johnson and colleagues argue that the original continents were seeded by meteoroids. Do you know the continents? They actually seeded by meteoroids. The collision of the meteoroids with the hot surface of the earth caused fragments of the crust to cool and become buoyant. Buoyant means that it will float. Patches to which additional material would adhere, forming continents. So this is their point of view. The meteoroids, what caused continents. To support their view, they cite the composition of crystals. So they make an evidence by taking the composition of crystals, taken from the oldest known segment of the earth crust, which showed that the crystal formed close to the surface of the earth. Okay. So they said that the meteoroid formed continents, and they take an evidence, the crystals. Okay, let's find how it's going to reply to the geologist's view. Here, huh? Most geologists, only this. Most geologists believe that continents formed as material bubbled up from the earth core. Yes, yes, yes. But he said from the crust. He did say from the core, but yes. In the presence of water, buoyant granite, yes, formed on the underside of the bubble and become the base upon which a continent would grow. Okay. It's largely correct? Yes. Yes. But requires a minor refinement in light of the result obtained by Johnson and colleagues? No, it doesn't need any kind of refinement. Thank you. It's not. So the first part is right, the second part is not. It's not compelling as a theory. No, it can be a theory. It can be a theory. It's more likely to be accepted, yes, in conjunction with the data provided by Johnson. No, Johnson, he said the crust. Johnson, he said the crust. Here, he said the core. No. It may seem plausible, acceptable, yes. But it's not supported by the finding of Johnson leaks, yes. It's not supported by this because here he talk about the crust, here he talk about the core. Question after is number 8. Again, the main idea, this domain 1, it looks like the main purpose. First sentence and last sentence. Then we go, cancel whatever is not accepted. If you find that more than 2 answers can be accepted, we're going to read the whole text. He said here, the programs of New Deal constituted a collection of measures intended to curb the economic hardship U.S. citizens faced as a result of the Great Depression in the past. You know, the Great Depression. So this program actually was formed to curb, to facilitate, to modify the economic hardship. Okay. Likewise, the Agriculture Adjustment Act is another act, sought to raise incomes for impoverished farmers by inflating prices on agricultural commodity. So again, they are doing some kind of research to help to overcome whatever hardships because of the economic, whether because of Great Depression or relate to the farmers. Okay. So the goal of the New Deal programs was to address economic difficulties? Yes, yes, yes. The Public Works Administration significantly increased employment. We're not talking about employment. We're talking about how to overcome this kind of economic hardships. The Agriculture Adjustment Act, yes, the last one, was a controversial part of the New Deal. No, it's not controversial. It also to raise income, like whatever happened up. The Great Depression led to the New Deal? No. No, it's not the Great Depression lead to the New Deal, and this is not our main topic. He talked about how we can facilitate those hardships. So the answer is A. The answer is A. Just wait, please. Okay. After that, number 11. Number 11. It's a quotation, literary. What you want to illustrate the claim. And you know the illustrate the claim? If you find claim here, okay. If you don't find, forget about the introduction. So I'm going to read here. I want something that illustrate this one. Look like this one. Okay. In the poem, the speaker described the determination of soldiers to continue despite their heavy losses. Okay. Those soldiers, they want to continue despite that they lost many stuff. Let's find here the first one. A march in the ranks hard pressed and the road unknown. Okay, it measured that they have hardships. A route through a heavy wood with muffled steps in the darkness. Our army foiled with loss severe. Okay, they have losses. And the solemn remnant retreating till after midnight glimmer upon us the lights of a dim lighted building. They found a building that is lighted in front of them. But where is the part that talk about that they determined to continue? Nothing. So cancel. We here mean the soldiers. We come to an open space in the Watts and halt. Halt means stop by the dim lighted building. They stop. They didn't continue. Take care of that. This means this. This means this, but it's in Old English. There's a large old church at the crossing roads. Now an impromptu hospital. Entering but for a minute, I see a sight beyond all the pictures and poems ever made. Shadows of deepest black, just lit by moving candles and lamps. Again, doesn't show any kind of determination that they continue. Let's look at C. But first, I've been to the dying lad. Someone, his friend is dying. His eyes open. A half smile gives he me. Then the eyes close, calmly close, and I speed forth to the darkness. Start running. Determination to continue. Resuming, marching, ever in darkness marching. On in the ranks, the unknown road is still marching. Determination. He didn't stop. D. Then before I depart, I sweep my eyes over the scene, fain to absorb it all. Faces, variety, postures beyond description, most in obscurity, some of them dead. Surgeon operating, attendants holding lights, the smell of ether, the odor of blood, the crow of the crowd of the bloody forms, and the yard outside also felt. He doesn't mention anything about continuous marching or determination. So the answer is C. After number 12. It's quantitative evidence. What he want? He want to illustrate Angel's claim. Illustrate Angel's claim. Can you find here a claim? Let's search. Let's search. No claim. If you're gonna search, no claim. Okay? But I have something indicate angel here. And he said asserted. Is it mentioned before? He said here that British economist Angel published The Great Illusion, which became, he published only. But here he said asserted, so it can be claimed. So we need to illustrate this one, means supported, by also using what? The graph. He said Angel asserted that international trade and economic interconnectedness meant modern war. Meant what? Modern war was unlikely. Was unlikely means not. Will not happen. Due to it potentially costing nation so much money. So modern war will not happen. Take care, unlikely. Why? Because it will cost nation much money. This idea was welcomed at the time when tensions were rising between Germany and British Empire. So I need something between Germany and British. And no war will happen. Because of what? Because of the international trade and the economic interconnectedness. Over a naval arms race as, okay, let me see the graph first. This Germany, and he wanted between it and British. British Empire is here. So we need only to look at this part. Don't look at other part. Only look at this part. This is what he mentioned in the claim. Here he said, the white part, distinction of German export. Okay. The white one or the light one. The dark part is Germany import. Origin of German import. So here, Germany imported more goods from the British Empire. No, they are the same. Than it did from everywhere else it combined. I know that it's right. It imported, but okay, I can say that maybe right. Germany imported more than others. Where did the import? Import is the one that we said that it's black. Yeah, it's more. Look, it's more. It can be. But I need something to mention that no war because of the relation between them and the interconnectedness. Only the United States of America exceeded the British Empire as destination for German exports. I don't need the United States, actually. I don't need the United States. I need something between Germany and British. Over 70% of German imports came from the British Empire. 70? No. And even he mentioned France and Russia. I don't need France and Russia. I don't need. Around 18% of German exports and imports involve the British Empire, more than those of any other state. Yes. So it can be A and D. Which one will stop the war and will illustrate that there is international trade and economic interconnectedness? Uh, the mutual relation between both of them. Because import and export is 18%. So like that, I'm not going to fight with you and you're not going to fight with me. And it's more than other countries. So the answer is D, better than A.
Mr.
Uh, let's go to the question after.
Mr.
Yes.
Malish, can you explain again like why A is wrong?
Aisha, I'm going to tell you again. Now I'm between A and D. That right?
Yeah.
Here he talk about هو عاوز حاجة تعمل سبورت ان البلدين دول مش هيتخانقوا مع بعض عشان معتمدين على بعض. الاتنين معتمدين على بعض مش واحدة معتمدة على التانية. ايه بيبين يا عائشة ان جيرماني معتمدة على بريتش بتعمل امبورت منها. فمعنى كده ان بريطانيا ممكن تقول لها لا يلا روحي مع السلامة انا اجيبك ارضا. لكن دي بيقول ان جيرمان بتستورد وبتصدر مع بريتش يعني الاثنين معتمدين على بعض. زي حضرتك كده انت حضرتك معتمد على بابا وبابا معتمد عليكي صح.
أيوه.
فانتوا كده في انتر كونكتدنس ما تقدروش تستغنوا عن بعض خالص. لكن انت واحده صاحبتك فانا بقول عائشه خليني بقى اتكلم عشان ما اتكلمش على صاحبتك اتكلم عليك انت. عائشه معتمده كليا على صاحبتها مش صاحبتك ممكن ترميكي وتقول لك مع السلامه يا عائشه مش عاوز صاحبتك.
Yeah.
بس انا عاوز بقى البارت ان يبين ان الاثنين معتمدين على بعض فهو this دي clear.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. uh 13 no. I have 14. We arrived to grammar and I know that the grammar part in this one was so hard wallahi in this test. I want to be sure what the test is. Let me just tell you what the test is. uh, Test 9 is real test. November is November test. The first November for the digital set. The grammar, the grammar was hard in it. Let's find why. Let's find here. This is boundaries, domain 4. Now we have nothing here. Here we have full stop. Here we have comma. Here we have semicolon. Just take this for guarantee. Whenever we have quotation marks, the ending mark will come inside, not outside. نقول تاني. Whenever we have quotation marks, the ending mark will be inside, not outside. طب كده انا هلغي ايه؟ هلغي دي. ده كمان في دي في catastrophe. After the semicolon, I don't put capital letter. ايه ده؟ ده بيضحكوا علينا، ده بيستهيفونا. After semicolon, I don't put capital letter. لا ده دي غلط خالص. شكرا يا دكتور تامر. طب here no end marks. It can be because sometimes I put quotation as a kind of motto or slogan, not direct speech. So let's look at the sentence that have the part that is missing, huh? From the full stop to the full stop. Ultimately, Descartes arrived at his memorable conclusion, comma. What his conclusion? I think, comma. Therefore, I am. I think now there's a sentence. He could only be certain of the fact that he was thinking. And I think I have to close here the quotation. So there's another sentence because the quotation is in all of them. So now we have two sentences. We agree subject verb, subject verb. So what we're going to do, comma, fanboy, semicolon, full stop. Here nothing, so delete it. Here we have full stop. Okay. Here we have comma only, no. So I'm going to take the one with the full stop. The question after is number 15. pronoun antecedent agreement. بس تدوني وقت، بس يعني احط حاجه في بقي، تعبت والله. ممكن.
خذ راحتك استاذ، خذ
Sorry يا
راحتك.
مستر.
السن بيحكم يا شباب، معلش بقى. اوكي. So number 15. Pronoun antecedent agreement. Let's find these plural, them plural, him singular, it singular. Allah, Allah, Allah. Dr. Tamer, you told us that this kind of questions will come easy. Eliminate the odd one out. Here we have two plural, two singular. We can't. We can. But take care. The two plural can use together in any case. In any case. The two singular, one for a male, one for a thing. Okay, let's read. Coal tar was a byproduct of steel manufacturing and compounds. Take care. This is the first sentence, the second sentence. Compounds derived from. How can I say compounds derived from compounds? To write these or them. And this and them here can be. If I'm gonna write both of them. No, so cancel. So him or it? No, we're talking about the tar. So it. Compounds derived from tar had been used as medicine and dye formulation. So tar, so it. Number 16 also. Again, boundaries. Again, boundaries. Which start the relative clause. Which start the relative clause. Okay, let's look at the sentence here. Although, subordinate conjunction. The asteroid is subject verb, so this is dependent. It is much larger, subject verb, this independent, than the one that struck Siberia in 1908, which level 2,000 square kilometer of forest. Parentheses. Wait. This is an easy level one. There is a parentheses. So I need another parentheses. اهو يا جدعان. الله العظيم حرام. اقول ايه بس على الناس اللي جابتها غلط. في ودن. فين الودن التانية؟
انا ما شفت البارنتيز والله.
يعني انت اللي جبتها غلط؟
اه.
الله يسامحك.
الله يسعدك.
في ودن. فين الودن التانية؟ It can't be without the other one. So directly, without any kind of argument, without looking at the others. 17. انت يا ميزي مش انت الوحيد اللي جايبها غلط يا ميزي، لان ما صححتلكش بتاعتك اصلا، انت قعدت متاخر.
انت صححتها قبل، كان يعني من البداية
اوكي.
غلط، اول شيء غلط بعدين صححتها.
اوكي. 17. what مين اللي جابها غلط دي؟ مين اللي جابها غلط؟ والله ده لو معايا عصايه. This an easy one. This subject verb agreement. Contribute singular, contribute plural, are plural, have plural. The odd one out is the singular. So let's find the subject here is singular or not. Read from the beginning of the. Okay, from here. Although, subordinate conjunction. Some consumer, subject. Consider, verb. So this is dependent. Home delivery for more efficient than driving to several stores to obtain needed supplies. The cardboard, subject. Needed. This is not the verb. This is a modifier. To produce shipping package. The verb contributes. Cardboard, singular subject, contributes. Easy. The question after is 21. يلا مين هيغني معايا الاغنيه دي؟ اللي هيغني معايا الاغنيه نديله بونص النهارده. When the modifier, I'm sorry, when the choices are long, this question is. ده مفيش حد غنى.
modifier.
ايوه. ايه يا شباب؟ When the choices are long وفيها convention of standard English اهو. When the choices are long, this question is modifier. على طول تقولوها. كله يفتح المايك بقى ونغني مع بعض الأغنية دي. when the choices are long, this question is.
A modifier.
modifier.
طيب بس اللي هياخد بونص عائشة وأحمد، الباقي كله نايم. So let's find. I'm gonna take from the beginning of the sentence. Remarkably permanent in an area. I need something that is permanent in an area. خلي بالكم دي مش جملة، دي modifier phrase. This a modifier phrase ما فيهاش subject to verb واخرها كوما اهي. يبقى لازم السبجكت اللي هنا يبقى modify by this phrase. Remarkably permanent in an area known for settlements that relocated after only a few decades. What is gonna be permanent in an area? For settlements. Where are the subject here? Villages, yes, villages can be permanent in an area. There, no. Years are gonna be area in an area? No. People, he said settlements. No. So the answer villages. The villages are permanent in an area for settlements, for people to live in. So the answer is A. 22. Transitions. But, wait, Dr. Tamer. But is not one of the main transitional words, because the transitional words are not, most of them are adverbs, but is a conjunction. And unfortunately, after but, there is a comma. After but, there is a comma. We know that the comma comes before but, not after. So from the beginning, I'm going to suspect that this is wrong. But I'm going to write that it's contradiction, though also contradiction, but it's a transition. On the other hand, contradiction and also transition. Indeed, emphasize. Wait. So A, B, and C, contradiction. And this is emphasized. I'm going to take the odd one out. But let's check what come before and what come after. Where is the beginning of the sentence? Here? No, I'm sorry. Here. And then the beginning. Okay, so between these two sentences. She supported herself by collecting fossils along the shoreline of lime rigs, as each winter caused landslides that exposed previously buried fossils. Okay, the first sentence. This work was dangerous. Then, Anning herself had one near miss with a landslide that took the life of her dog. So it emphasized this, that it was dangerous, that her dog died. Indeed, it's no contradiction. Question after is 23. Transition again. Since, cause and effect. But again, since come as a subordinate conjunction. Since come as a subordinate conjunction. Since come as a subordinate conjunction. So I suspect that after since there is a comma. And since also can come as a preposition. Despite, contradiction. And also despite can be a preposition. So both of them I suspect. However, contradiction. Okay, wait. Despite contradiction. However, contradiction. So I can put them aside now. For example, exemplification. As I told you, since sometimes when I come up after it a comma, but let's take from the beginning to find. Before and after. Before is here. And after is this one. He said sonar, sound navigation, and ranging is a system that uses sound waves to measure the depth of water under a boat. Okay. Sonar technology was developed during World War I. In 1490, Leonardo da Vinci experimented with the principle by listening to a tube. So he found how it's developed. This is, for example, it's no contradiction or cause and effect. Example, a tube, an example, insisted into water in order to detect marine vessels. So the answer is D. The question after is the last question, 27. Rhetorical synthesis. One of the easiest question. What you want here? He wants the similarity. Similarity between what? The qasida composed in the 3rd century BCE and the qasida composed in the 6th century BCE. احنا وصلنا للعالمية. العرب وصلوا للعالمية. بيكتبوا علينا دلوقتي. قصيدة. I need similarity between قصيدة in the 3rd century and qasida in the 6th century. Okay. Traditional qasida are poetic odes with 3 parts: the prelude, the desert journey, and the goal of the ode. Where is the similarity here between this qasida and this qasida? He doesn't say anything, you know. Although contradiction, differences. He said, although qasida were known among the Bedouin of the 3rd century BCE, they were primarily an oral tradition and not recorded in writing until the 6th century. Difference, no similarity, cancel. The qasida of the poet Imru al-Qais, Allah, Imru al-Qais Charo, called the father of Arabic poetry, include traditional themes of Arabic poetry as used in the earliest qasida. Take care. It's not written that this 6th century or not written that this 3rd century. But here he said this for Imr al-Qais in his age and this for the earliest qasida. Maybe because it shows similarity. The poet Imr al-Qais was the ruler of the Kinda tribal kingdom, but is famous as the father of the Arabic poetry for his qasida. It doesn't mention anything. And I have only this one. But I want to be sure that the qasida for Imr al-Qais is for the 6th century. And the earliest qasida is 3rd century. Let's find here. I'm going to read here. Despite that it's the only one that accepted, but I want to be sure. لكي يطمئن قلبي. The ancient Bedouin and nomadic people of the Arabian desert preserved their culture, history, and oral poetry from the late 3rd century. يبقى دي the earliest. I need one for Imr al-Qais. It's here. 6th century, the qasida form was adopted in Arabic courts and the poet Imr al-Qais. Thank you. So the answer is C. I'm going to send you the answer key for this one. Unfortunately, we don't have time to because the group after you joined right now. So we don't have any kind of homework. Please adjust your alarm. Please abide by following the time. And thank you. I'm going to send this recording for you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Bye.
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 Bye.